I'm Christina Shala, and welcome to today's episode of Empowering the Educator Within. Today's episode is geared towards middle school and high school teachers that have ELL students in their classrooms and perhaps little to no support from an ELL. In a middle school or a high school setting, chances are students are moving from class to class, teacher to teacher, throughout the day. And so these ELL students aren't necessarily getting taught from a single teacher, but multiple teachers in different subject areas. And so the question then becomes, if your school for some reason has an ELL team, but they're not able to provide much support, or perhaps you don't have an ELL team at all, the question becomes, who is responsible for creating an ELL program for these students, for adapting the materials, for differentiating and scaffolding and ensuring that the students are receiving the support they need? And the answer is, it falls on the team of teachers, every single one that are teaching a specific student or a group of students in the different subject areas. To start off with, I recommend that you gather the team of teachers that are supporting the ELL student or ELL students and watch the Triaging Language Needs video. In this video, I outline the 3 different types of language, examples of each one, and the order to teach them in. And these types of language are: number 1, functional language; number 2, academic language; and number 3, conversational language. Once you've got an understanding of the different types of language that ELLs need to be taught, the next step would be to decide as a group which of the other videos that I've made would be most beneficial. Do you have beginner students, intermediate or advanced level students? Are you interested in learning tips and strategies for teaching functional language, academic content, conversational language? And once you've decided on what would benefit you the most based on your students' needs, watch them as a group and then decide, how the best way to go forward. Which brings me to my next point, which is collaborating. Collaborating amongst the different subject areas is important because, let's say, for example, you have a beginner ELL student and you're aiming to teach basic, functional, survival type language. While there can be some overlap between the language and vocabulary that's chosen between the different teachers, you also want to start varying some of that vocabulary as well to make sure that you're covering, giving them a better chance at developing their rate of language learning faster. At the same time, if you've got intermediate or advanced level students, you may want to agree amongst different teachers what are the different types of differentiation strategies that you're going to use. Are you going to be adapting reading material? Are you going to be adapting the expectations from different assignments? Are you going to be providing them with scaffolds and extra supports? If so, which types? And it's important to decide as a group across the board what the approach is, so it's consistent for these students as they move from class to class and as they are participating in different learning activities. And then lastly, when it comes to, assessing and reporting, it's good to have a consensus as to the outcomes and the expectations that are being given for the ELL students. Again, just so that there's consistency across the board and between classes. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Empowering the Educator Within. Moving forward, I hope that you and your team of middle school or high school teachers are able to find the information that you need in all the other ELL videos that I've done that have touched on teaching functional, academic, and conversational English to ELL students.